to the Newysports Awards night. I'm Ty Stedman, and tonight we all come together in a celebration of the New FM Northern League 1 competition and the 2017 season. The 11 clubs in said competition, I welcome you all here tonight. We are a community bonded by our love of what a great man lost last week would call the world game. Tonight is a culmination of an idea, a dream to create something truly special and truly unique. Newysports has been in existence for 2.5 years, but the memories we've created and the pure amount of football we've been able to take in this time has been staggering. My mum's here tonight. I remember the Facebook page hitting 100 likes, 200, 300, and how proud I was of all those, and now we're up towards 5,000. Page like numbers went to the back of my mind because it no longer mattered. We have true support from the entire league, and it's mind-boggling to try and crunch the numbers. The amount of videos, content, and posts we've produced is just crazy. We aren't just a broadcaster, we love the game, we love the clubs, and we love the people involved. To look around tonight and see so many different club shirts and jackets makes me so proud of what we've become here at Newysports. And this competition, in just 3 seasons of covering it, has come along in leaps and bounds. The upcoming final series will be an indication that truly New FM football is on the rise. The support I've received is simply incredible, but in reality it has and always will be a team effort. We don't have the money nor resources of our broadcasting counterparts, but we have 3 committed individuals. Our photographer Sue has been snapping away for 2 seasons now. Unfortunately, she's sick tonight. Our cameraman Peter, who's right here, has been here all season filming over 150 games. All this for free, for the love of the competition, for the love of New FM football. Please, a round of applause for our cameraman and our photographer Sue. From the early days at the outfield where nobody knew what I was doing, who's the guy with the notebook, is he scouting, what's he doing? Later that year, clubs started to get involved, and then 2016 brought an amazing season with the clubs really starting to show support, and that has continued even more in 2017. I'm not a journalist now, suddenly I'm a ground announcer, photographer, pundit, commentator. I do all I possibly can to make this competition better. This season has been absolutely amazing, and there's no possibility in my mind we will have even more games next year to talk about and to cover. The constant washouts meant a lot of midweek trips, running through the pouring rain at Toronto, falling down that hill a couple times, baking in the sun on a 40-degree day at West Wallsend, 3,000-word reviews every match day. I've poured everything I've had into this season. So enjoy tonight for what it is. Newysports treats the entire comp the same. It's so much more than first grade. It's about the future talent that will one day be the leaders of our clubs. The under-15s this season has been, for the most part, a success, and some exciting players can be found in that grade. And it's wonderful news that the 15s will play at Magic Park on grand final day with all the other grades. Could Newysports be better? Could we do more? We certainly could. But for this season, we've done all we can to make it a success. The 3 of us have done so much as we possibly could to boost the competition, and ultimately I feel like we've contributed. This ride hasn't been perfect. It could be better, it could always be better. And that's what we do here at Newysports. We strive for improvement every single season. Maybe next year I can start to get paid. Nonetheless, I hope you all have a wonderful night, and let's get into the awards. Thank you. Alright, the first club we are going to talk about tonight, unfortunately they haven't had the best of season on the field, but there's been a lot of infrastructure improvement at their ground, Turner Park, and the club is looking towards the future with their new coach already signed up for the 2018 season. And if anything can be said about Cessnock, it's been good to see so many young players get a chance to play in first grade, and that experience I think is really valuable and will come in handy over the next few years. The first award winner for the Cessnock City Hornets for the under-17s is Lucas Zeckel. For the under-19s, I don't think he's here tonight, but that's Kyle Gillis. under 23s competition, a goalkeeper who had to step in mid-season and has done a really good job and actually got promoted to first grade as the season went on. That is Dylan Cheatham, who's also not here tonight, but a round of applause for him. And Cessnock City's first grade player of the season for Newysports is Jason Zeckel. So Jason, I'll get you to say a few words on behalf of the club. You seem like a good guy to do it. You've got the juniors coming through there, a big club that's sort of trying to get back to what it once was, and I think that's what it's all about, is the young talent at Cessnock City Hornets.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone that's here tonight. Ty's doing a wonderful job with his Newysports program. Yeah, the club's with the first grade squad of roughly 15-16 players at the end of the season. We've had a lot of the 17s and 19s boys step in. Average age of about 18-19 for first grade as well. But yeah, it's all about the future. That's not, we've got some new coaches coming in next year, and hopefully it'll be a good season.
Thank you for coming down from Cessnock. It is a long trip, so it's good to see a few faces from the club here, and well wishes for the 2018 season. The next club we're going to talk about is Toronto-Awaba, the Stags, who this season have recruited Adam Routledge as their head coach, and they've built a very good culture, a strong culture out there at Toronto. Results obviously haven't improved greatly, but I think the potential is there for success in the future. Again, there's some good young talent coming through, and it is wonderful to see Toronto's under 15s and 17s teams in the 2017 finals series. The best of luck to them. The award winner for the under 17s at Toronto, he is the top scorer in the competition as well. It is Thomas Appleby. For the under 19s competition, I'm not sure if there's even anyone from Toronto here tonight, but we're going to applaud them anyway. Connor Morgan for the under 19s is their player of the year. Toronto 23s, they started the season very poorly, it must be said, 10-goal hiding, but they've come good. Like, they really built their season late. Unfortunately, they still ended up on the bottom, but they picked up some really respectable results, and a lot of that is thanks to a man who went into goals and filled in that gap of not having a goalkeeper. That is Matt Jenkins. And last but not least, the player of the year for the first grade Toronto team is their captain, and I think he's also their top scorer, Nick Roberts. So we might do a separate presentation during the semi-finals with the Toronto teams. As I said, the 17s and 15s making it into the finals, and the future of Toronto football seems to be pretty bright. Next club we're going to move on to is the Singleton Strikers, who this season they've had to rely again heavily on youth, and it's been a tough season for David Willoughby and the team, but I think Singleton is one of those clubs that just keeps building. It's wonderful to see a fairly successful 15s team not able to make the semi-finals, but a very strong defence in that side, and a very good goalkeeper to mention. Across the board, they haven't been able to make finals in any grades, but they've got some good young talent coming through, and I think that's always a plus. One of them is from the under 17s, that is Aiden Borkowski. From the under 19s competition, Corey Henderson. Under 23s is James Bates, who is the captain of their 23s team. And lastly, I'm pretty sure we could all agree on this, the player of the year for Singleton first grade is their goalkeeper and captain, Stuart Plant. And well wishes to Aidan at Singleton and the rest of the club for a successful 2018 season. The next club, we're getting through this a lot quicker than I thought, but fortunately we've got a lot of people here from the other clubs. I'm not sure I see any West Wallsend shirts out there, so we're going to talk about them nonetheless. For the under-17s competition, where they are the minor premiers as well, so congratulations to Gary Ellis and that side for winning the minor premiership. The player of the year for that team is Bradley Jackson. For the under-19s competition, a player that we've all become accustomed to seeing score goals ever since the 17s, and now indeed in the 19s, another side that have made the semi-finals and will be a very tough side to beat in the semi-finals. That is Josh Knight. The under-23 is a man who defines, I think, the West Wallsend club. He's a passionate club man, always a good chat, always fun to watch on the field, through the good and the bad. That is Andrew Carney. And last but not least is their first grade player of the year. He's led by example this year. It's been a fairly solid season at West Wallsend. They just fell short of finals, but they set the bar of 30 points, did Gary Rowe, and they've made 29 of those possible. A lot of goals thanks to their captain, Ty Jones. So once again, it is good to see West Wallsend in 4 of the 5 grades make semi-finals, and the 17s, the 19s, the 15s. The future is very bright out there at Westie, and well wishes to them. Next up, we're going to do the Golden Boot Awards, which is of course top scorer in every grade across the board. A few of these were decided on the weekend, a few of them have been decided for the majority of the season, but we're going to go through each of them now. In the under-15s competition from Cooks Hill United, it is Martin Wilson. The under-17s, he's not here tonight, but I definitely think he'll be around in semi-finals and possibly scoring goals against Cooks Hill in that final series. He's one to watch, Thomas Appleby from Toronto-Awaba. The Golden Boot winner for the under-19s competition, which has been a tight race all season. He's managed to beat out one of his teammates in doing so, and that is from Lambton FC, Luke Homer. The top scorer across the entire competition. He's been scoring goals for fun. I don't think he's scored in the last few weeks, but nonetheless he was way ahead. I think he's scored 23 goals this season, and the next closest was 10. From the under-23s competition, the minor premiers Cooks Hill United, the top goal scorer Asher Beasley. And the first grade Golden Boot winner, I'm not sure I see him, but I do see a couple Belmont-Swansea faces here tonight, and welcome to them. Their striker this year, who's gone from being, I think, an impact player, it can be said, at Wallsend FC last year, to being the main hitman of Belmont-Swansea United. 20 or so goals this season, and he's definitely going to be one to watch in the semi-final series against Kahibah. The top goal scorer in Golden Boot for first grade is Tiga Marcus. So congratulations to Tiga, Marcus and Thomas Appleby, and of course the 3 players here. A lot of goals scored this season, and hopefully more to come in the finals. Next up, we're going to talk about the volunteers of the clubs, which, in my opinion, the clubs do not run without volunteers, and so often they're just, no, I wouldn't say overlooked, but underappreciated, and not just the committee members, the canteen staff, the ground staff, the gate people. These are the people that really bring our clubs together and run the competition and run those clubs so passionately. And every single club, there are several names I could mention. Some of those are in the programs. But one for me has been a real standout at his club over the last few years. Really just bleeds red for that team and has done all he could to make sure Wallsend FC could be such a good club. And that is Dan Byatt, the Volunteer of the Year. Before I present the awards for Wallsend, I'll get Danny to say a few words about the club. We're sort of speeding through this, so it'll be good to actually catch up with someone from one of the familiar faces from around the league. Danny, tell us about Wallsend in 2017.
Firstly, I'd like to thank Ty and Pete and Sue. It's always fantastic to rock up to game day and see that they're there and they're very welcoming, and the exposure that they give our competition is it's second to none. They really are underappreciated by a lot of people. It's so much time that they put in, and yeah, I could talk all day about how great they are as people and ambassadors for the competition and the sport. I would also like to suggest everyone who isn't a volunteer in some way, shape or form to just put your hand up, say, look, can I do something on the gate, can I do something in the canteen? Every little bit counts. You get a massive amount out of being a volunteer. I couldn't suggest it anymore. I've been on the Wallsend committee for a number of years now, and before that I was back on the committee when I was back living in Wauchope. And I get a massive amount from it. And as for the club for next year, well, I was hoping to announce at the Savo that our first grade coach is going to be Ben Edwards, our under-23s coach at the moment. He's young, bringing fresh ideas, enthusiasm. He's played for the club at UFM level before in the past. And here he is, the man of the moment. Marcus, how are you, mate? Yeah, so we're moving forward pretty well. Just putting all our faith in the youth. Just moving towards that 2020 goal of being in the NPL. We'll show all the players, clubs, volunteers, everybody involved in football around Newcastle all the best to reach that goal. I know it's a massive goal that we've been set. If we all also work together and push each other and support each other, then we can all get there. I'm rubbish at speeches, so yeah, thank you very much everyone. Have a good night.
Alright, we'll go through the Wallsend club now. I'm not sure if any of the medal winners have shown up, but we'll give them their shout outs anyway, and I guess I'll be there for the under-23s who have made it into the semi-finals, and it is good to see a lot of young players from the 17s last year now playing 23s, the likes of Jackson Manning, Darcy Hall, those sort of players who have done so well to get into the finals, and hopefully they can go one further and win the grand final for Wallsend FC. For the under-17s, player of the year is Ben Smith. Under-19s, again a player who's made appearances in the 23s in first grade and has done a really good job this season again, is Dan Strazzari. For the under-23s competition, a young defender who's stepped up from the 17s to being captain of the 17s last year and now indeed playing 23s and first grade. Darcy Hall, he's done a really good job this year, and applause to him. And for first grade, a player who's come over from Cooks Hill and scored a few goals and really puts his best out there every single week for the Red Devils, and that is Matty Williams. All right, thank you, Danny, and good luck to Wallsend for the 23s finals and indeed next season as well. Just a reminder, there is a raffle on tonight. We're raffling off some meat trays from Singo's Wholesale Meats, and they are here. 1 ticket for $1, 6 tickets for $5, and again, that money going towards the cost of the night, which has been put together really well, and I'd like to thank all the support staff who've helped out tonight to set this up. We've been here since 3 o'clock this afternoon, and to see this and to see so many people out here is really, really wonderful. We move on to the next club, which is the Thornton Redbacks, who this season have really come along in leaps and bounds, and they were there or thereabouts in the 19s until the final few weeks of the season, just missing out on finals. In the 23s, they're up there and in the semi-finals, and have indeed knocked over a few of the biggest sides. Wallsend and Cookshill, I think, both have been defeated by the Redbacks at some stage this season, so they've done well. And for first grade, what a season it's been at Thornton under Darryl McAllister, and hopefully they'll be competing really well with Cookshill at their home semi-final this week, which is a big day for that club, and 40-year anniversary this year of the Thornton Redbacks, so congratulations to them for that. For the under-17s player of the year, it is Jackson Watkins. The under-19s has been one of the top scorers in that competition for the last 2 years, always a threat on the day, and has been probably their main hitman in the under-19s for the last 2 seasons. That is their captain, Josh Davies. For the under-23s competition, a young fullback, I remember seeing his first game in pre-season and thinking he was talented then, and he's been able to keep it up all season. That is Sam Herney. And last but not least, the Thornton Redbacks Player of the Year in first grade. He's the club captain, he's their top scorer, and he's really led by example this season. That is Nathan McAllister. Unfortunately, Thornton do train tonight, so that's why they've been having to send their apologies, but I'll be presenting those medals at their home semi-final this Saturday against Cookshill, which is the start of the semi-final series. Real quickly, I saw him walk in, Teague Marcus, Mr. Golden Boot. I've got a trophy for you. All right, we'll move on to the next portion of the night, which is going by very quickly, so we might have a break in a second and try and get back some of that time. For the under-15s competition, which this season has been new to the New FM Northern League 1 competition, and I think most of the sides have come along in leaps and bounds since the pre-season, and it's been a very exciting competition, a very close competition, and the final series will indeed be one to watch. And of course, as I mentioned, their grand final will be played at Magic Park on grand final day with the senior grades, which is wonderful news. Each club will go through, all 11 clubs. First off, Belmont-Swansea for the under-15s is Blake Gordon. For Cessnock City Hornets, a player who's played in the 15s, played in the 17s, scored a few goals, had a fairly solid season, that being Ethan Garrington. Cookshill United, their top scorer, also, in my opinion, probably their best player on the park, and that's why he's getting this medal, Martin Wilson. Kahibah FC up next, and their player, their coaches have praised him, and he's been really well at being a consistent player all season, Jackson Foster. Next club up is the minor premiers in the under-15s grade. They've been wonderful all season. Bailey Cooper is their player of the year. For the Singleton Strikers, again, as I said, their defence has been solid all season, and their goalkeeper has probably been even more solid. He's kept a lot of clean sheets. Had to send his apologies. It is a long trip from Singleton, so this one will be taken back up to him. It is Tyler Morris, their goalkeeper. South Cardiff, a player that's played a little bit of 17s and showed really good, hungry attitude, I guess, down that left side a few weeks ago at Belmont-Swansea. He's scored a couple of goals as well. Sam Charlia. For the Thornton Redbacks, whose season that's been challenging at times, but it's been a learning curve, as it has been for a lot of the 15s teams. New FM football is a step up from your typical inter-district grades. Harrison Ralph is their player of the year. One of the top scorers in the under-15s competition, just missed out on the Golden Boot, but it's been a solid season out there at Toronto, up there in the top 2 as well, and competing for silverware during the semi-finals. Jordan Hale, their player of the year. For Wallsend FC, one of their goal scorers this season, played a bit of 17s on the weekend too, against Kahibah, that being Mitchell Wilson. West Wallsend, one of their top 4 sides in the under-15s competition. I've actually managed to catch a couple of their games midweek, and this player scored a really, really good goal against Cooks Hill United in a midweek catch-up game. One of the top scorers in the competition from West Wallsend, Ethan Wright. And lastly, the coach award for the under-15s. I'm pretty sure he's still on the door. I just have to check. From the minor premiers, the New Lambton Eagles, Nick Pepper is the under-15s coach of the year. Alright, congratulations to the under-15s, the players here tonight, and indeed the players not here, and well wishes for the semi-finals, and we will see you on grand final day. We'll take a short 5-minute break and come back with the second half of the night. And just a reminder, the Red Dog Diner is open at the back, so please order some food, and we'll see you in a sec. As we return for sort of the second half of the night, I'd like to thank Max from Cooks Hill United and Viatech for providing the programs for tonight. Very wonderfully done, and he's done a good job of Cooks Hill's programs all season, so thank you, Max, for that. And we'll move on to the next club, where I can see a few green shirts there, Belmont-Swansea United, who have become one of the, I guess, the big clubs in first grade over the last couple of years, and made the grand final last season to lose on penalties, and now of course they've got the chance to get back there and sort of go one further, I guess, and that'll be their intentions, no doubt. For the under-17s, a player who's moved up to the 23s this season and filled in a few gaps with players sort of not too keen to play 23s, but he has been all season, Harry Dyer. The under-19s team, which have come close to winning the minor premiership but just missed out. They went unbeaten for 29 weeks, which is a hell of achievement for New FM football. That includes last year's grand final as well, so they'll be looking to go back-to-back. Their coach has done really well, Mick Buckley, this season, and their player of the year for Newysports is Maddie Ellis. Another one of Belmont-Swansea's bright youngsters coming up the last couple of years. He's one of their mainstays in 23s now and has been working hard all season in defence, Josh Anses. And he's already been up here once, and I'm sure he'll be up here again. Teager Marcus, the Belmont-Swansea United first grade player of the year. Marcus, while you're up here, I'll get you to say a few words on behalf of Bell Swans. It's been a fairly successful season so far, and you think there's more to come?
On behalf of Bell Swans, I'd like to say congratulations to the winners tonight, and thank you to every other team in the comp for making this year a very, very successful year for everyone. We hope and we believe that next year will be even better. And let's do this again next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harry, and thank you to Belmont-Swansea United for another very strong season out there at Blacksmiths. And of course the semi-finals will be returning there this Sunday against Kahibah FC, which is sure to be a very big day for the club. Next, we're going to move on to the Under-17s Coach of the Year. Unfortunately, they're training tonight, so he hasn't been able to make it, but we'll give him a mention on the weekend. The minor premiers this season in the Under-17s have been led well by their coach, Gary Ellis. Actually, credit me, lucky he's not here because I've done that wrong. The coach of the year in the Under-17s is actually from Toronto-Awaba, and that is actually Sean Patterson. My apologies. This one I definitely can't get wrong. The Under-19s coach of the season, shamefully not here tonight because he's been waiting for an interview for the last 3 years or so, Mr. Mick Buckley. The Under-23s, a coach who's been employed to be the first grade coach next year at Wallsend FC, Ben Edwards. And last but not least, as mentioned earlier, the Thornton Redbacks are training tonight, and Daryl McAllister did send his apologies earlier today on behalf of the club, and these medals will be presented up there to them. The Coach of the Year, he wasn't even in the nominees actually. There was 4 nominees, he was the 5th, but the last few weeks, building that club up and taking them into the semi-finals, what a season it has been at the Thornton Redbacks, and Daryl McAllister is the first grade Coach of the Year. The Coach Awards, I don't think, off the top of my head, only one of them went to the minor premiership winners. It's all, for me, it's about taking a side that haven't really been expected to do too much and taking that side to success. And that's what I really think some of these coaches have done. Daryl up there at Thornton being the obvious example. A side that, you know, are there or thereabouts every year. This season they've made it into the semi-finals, and we're yet to see how they go, and hopefully all the best of luck to them on the weekend against Cookstill on Saturday. As I said earlier, will be a very big day for the Thornton Redbacks up there. Next we'll move on to the goalkeepers. A few of them here tonight, which is good. Firstly, the Under-15s Goalkeeper of the Year from New Lambton FC, Jack Dawson. The Under-17s competition, probably the smallest goalkeeper in the competition, but he's done really, really well for his size, and his team Toronto up there in the semi-finals, up there in the top 2, or top 3 I should say, Brock Redmond. Under 19s, he's had sort of a shared role with 19s, 23s, been there all season out at Belmont, saving goals. Will Reeves. For 23s, his coach was just up here, and this goalkeeper has been very solid. It's a very solid defence out there at Wallsend for the 23s. Definitely one of the contenders for the title this season, Dylan Merrick. And Kahibah are training tonight. I'm not sure if they'll be able to get here in time, but if not, they'll be also getting presented these on the weekend at their semi-finals. Their goalkeeper, definitely up there, one of the best in the competition, Nick Hartnett. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Will, and thank you to all the goalkeepers this season. There's been plenty of really, really good saves. This last weekend gone, round 22 at Cooks Hill on Saturday, and then of course Kahibah on Sunday. There's plenty of good saves to be seen at both grounds. So the goalkeepers often underappreciated, but we're appreciating them here tonight. We move on to the new Lambton squad, who of course playing right here at Alder Park, so they're training out there tonight. But there's a fair few of them in here. It's good to see the blue and the black in here. And we will get into their awards. The under 17s, Liam Walker is their award winner here tonight. The under 19s competition, one of the top goal scorers missed out on the golden boot by 1 or 2 goals, but definitely one to watch in the final series, Lachlan Jones. Under 23s, they started the season really well. I think it was a 5-1 win over Kahibah, but it's been a bit of a tough season, having players in and out. But the squad, one player in particular has been there all season, standing out very consistently, Nigel Robertson. And for their first grade squad, which what an addition they've been, some really good games. The FFA Cup game against Kahibah was probably one of the most memorable nights of the season. The win over West Wallsend in round 1. Riley Taylor, their top goal scorer and their player of the year. And once again, congratulations to New Lambton, and hopefully the very best for the finals for the 15s, 17s and indeed the 19s, and hopefully see more of them next season. Time for the probably the most infamous award of the night, the Kevin Muscat Award, the horse's ass. I'm not even sure if he's even here tonight. Is he here? You don't even know the winner, do you? I haven't announced it yet. Jai Hancock is the winner from Wallsend FC. A captain who got demoted to the bench and picked up a fair few yellows, so he's had a pretty good season. South Cardiff, what a season they've had under Denis Vajkovic. Last year sort of running 8th or 9th. This year they've improved to 5th and on the brink of finals, just missed out, but the potential's there, the future's there. Their captain's here tonight, good to see him here. And we'll get into their award winners. Kyle Furness from the under 17s, their goalkeeper, is the award winner for South Cardiff FC. For the under 19s competition, the captain, who's scored a few goals this season, led by example. That side sort of struggled in the first half. The second half they got their new coach in, and they've really built some success there at Southie, and the 19s look bright for the future. Ethan Spears. The under-23s, Jackson Robb is their Player of the Year. And last but not least, first grade, Corey Nicholas. Corey's in Southie, they didn't get much of a turnout tonight. I think they've got a committee meeting on, which they're building the club there. Dennis Fatchkovich has got a lot of ideas for the future. You sort of looking forward to 2018 at Southie?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the signs were there this year. Most of the guys that were there had a very enjoyable year. So, I mean, hopefully if the guys stick around, and yeah, we were so close this year, and we effectively just ran out of steam there towards the end. So, yeah, the signs are there. We've got some good young players, a fair bit of inconsistency in the lower grades, which was disappointing, but at times they were fantastic to watch, those lower grades. So certainly a lot of work to be done, and as the competition does, but I think the signs are there, and the improvement that the competition's made, even from last year to this year, is second to none. It's outstanding. So, and we do have this man here largely to thank for that, so many thanks to Ty and his team for the absolutely countless hours that he puts into this competition. It's yeah, we can't really thank him enough. So thanks for that, Ty, and thanks for everyone for coming, and hopefully good luck to all the teams in the semi-finals, and hope for an even better year next year. So thank you.
Thank you, Corey, and good to see you back on the field after that nasty head knock a few weeks back. That was a worrying day, that one, but he pulled through pretty well, and leading by example out there at South Cardiff. Next, we will move on to Kahibah FC, who unfortunately aren't here at the moment, but they will be there on the weekend in the semi-finals for first grade. Once again, it's been a fairly inconsistent year, you'd say, in the lower grades, missing out on finals, unfortunately. But the club is one of the premier clubs in the competition. A lot of infrastructure being put in place. The committee is working strong to make sure the future is bright at Kahibah FC. Their players for the under-17s, consistent standout in a team that's been up and down, but mostly ups, you'd say. They've come 5th or 6th, I think, off the top of my head. Jaden Logan is their Player of the Year for Newysports. In the under-19s, one of the quiet-spoken players at Kahibah FC, and trust me, there's not many of them, Isaac True. Under-23 is a player who came from South Cardiff last year to Kahibah, and has been a real consistent standout, moving from 23s to first grade, and did get a couple goals in first grade too, and will probably be there in their semi-final squad as well, Matt Parker. And for first grade, there probably wasn't really many other options. Their defence at Kahibah has been up there as one of the best in the competition, and thanks largely to the centre-back in that defensive line, Heath Kepriotes. So thank you to Kahibah FC, another strong season by that club, and the semi-finals should be an exciting one for them. Next, we're going to move on to a club. I can see a lot of black and white at the back. We've been waiting all night for this. Cooksville United, the minor premiers in first grade, under-23s and under-19s. Congratulations to them for that. And in the under-17s, the Player of the Year for Newysports is Rory Cownides. The under-19s, their centre-back, very strong season for that defensive line. Across the park, a very strong side, and they are indeed the minor premiers for a reason. Brady Conlon, their Player of the Year for Newysports. In the under-23s, the top goal scorer in that competition, again, I think I said it earlier, 23 goals or so, Asher Beasley. And in first grade, it was a tough choice, this one. There's plenty of good players there at Cooks Hill, the minor premiers. And this one has been their top goal scorer off the top of my head, Lee Ashton. A very strong season at Cooks Hill. Does anyone want to come up and have a word on behalf of the club? Maybe one of the coaches?
What about us?
Brady's already up here, okay. Brady, Cooks Hill United, a strong season across all grades, five teams in the finals, 3 minor premierships. What is it like at the club this season and being a part of that?
That's good. You know, it's fun and it's good. It's good footy. But most importantly, Ty, I want to thank you for everything you've done tonight. I think we could all give a round of applause for Ty and everything he's done.
Graham Law has sort of promoted youth there at Cooks Hill. You played a bit of first grade, and that's really what the club is all about the next few years, building towards potentially the NPL and seeing how that goes. What's it like being able to play first grade and get that experience?
The best part is knowing that we've got a chance. So we've had Mike and Mulsey as well play first grade this year. And the best part about the club is knowing that I'm in 19s, and if I work hard, I'll get a shot. So that's probably the best part about it, knowing that everyone's going to get a fair chance. Because I would say I'm not the only one. There's been 2 other players from the 19s play first grade, and a couple 23s boys. Like, everyone's going to get a fair shot, and it's one club, not 3 different teams. It's one club.
Alright, thanks mate, and congratulations again to Cooks Hill United. The pace setters this season across most grades, 3 minor premierships as mentioned in the finals in every grade, and hopefully some more success to come in the finals. Thank you. Alright, we're going to move on now to the main awards tonight, the Player of the Year trophies, the standout players in every competition. It's starting with the under-15s from Cooks Hill United. It is Martin Wilson. Under-17s, unfortunately he's not here tonight, but again, he'd be one to watch for in the semi-finals. Toronto-Awaba's top goal scorer, the under-17s top goal scorer, Thomas Appleby. In the under-19s competition, we just had him up here. The centre-back from Cooks Hill United there, one of their standout players, and for me, probably one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in the under-19s competition, Brady Conlon. In the under-23s competition, again, was just up here from Cooks Hill United, their top goal scorer, the 23s top goal scorer, Asher Beasley. And this one, it was a tough one. There's been a lot of solid players in first grade this season, but I think the man who's helped shape the competition and is probably the most dangerous striker in the league from Belmont-Swansea United, Tegan Marcus. So a big thank you to the Player of the Year award winners. A very, very solid season, and more to come in the finals, I hope, for all of them. Best of luck, and thank you. Alright, well that'll just about wrap it up. Very early tonight, but you never know how to time these things. It's first off, and the meat raffle, that's a good one. Can we do the meat raffle? While we wait for that, Might actually try and hype up the semi-finals a little bit, even though this TV's turned itself off. That can't be a good thing. I got it. So good tonight to see so many different club shirts out there, and I think we had a head count of around 66 people, which is wonderful for the inaugural Newysports Awards night, and hopefully this will become a regular thing, and I'm thinking maybe of doing it on a Monday night next year, hopefully, to get everybody here. Unfortunately, some teams are training tonight, and of course the semi-finals are this week, so that definitely takes importance. But nonetheless, it's good to see so many people here tonight, and the semi-finals are coming up this weekend, and these videos, in my opinion, sort of show you what to expect in the semi-finals, and I try and work out this TV. Completely unscripted, but here we go as we draw the meat raffle.
Gets away from his man, he's taken off here, Simpson, looks towards goal, Simpson, oh my goal! Liam Simpson with a quality finish, the left-footed finish. Back here to Toronto. Clemson fires and Clemson scores. It's a good low finish across goal for Andrew Clemson. And the Stags at last have a 1-0 lead. For the second hits again. Doing it. They're away here. Jackson Traeger is done well. Traeger, oh the finish. Jackson Traeger to put Toronto in front. He's going to get Walker in behind. Walker chips in. Walker scores. New Lambton have done it. There's 20 seconds to go. There's not even 20 seconds to go. Final scenes at Johnston Park. As the Eagles complete a comeback in under 17. He does so. Chiapara crosses it in. Oh, got it! Blake Chiapara scores for West Wallsend. It's a cross-turn goal. West Wallsend win it 1-0.
Alright, so the under-17s competition, a very exciting final series coming up with some very talented sides in it. West Wallsend, of course, the minor premiers. Cooksill, Toronto, I'm just going to put that on pause. And, no, I'm not going to put that on pause. I'm going to stop that. That's what I'm going to do. You think I would have figured it out earlier. No? Actually, that was a video I'm going to play. So we're going to have a look at the 19s comp as we prepare to draw the raffle. That's not one again. One of these days I'll figure it out, eh? I might just delete that for now and then maybe just play that. No, that's been deleted too. Okay, we'll get on to drawing the raffle. That's how we'll end the night. We're going to get Tegan Marcus up here to help us draw the raffle tonight as the winner of the first grade player of the year. First prize is orange ticket A53. Next prize is pink ticket D31.
Hang on, we might have it in the kitchen. They bought some.
Ready, draw.
D31.
D31, pink D31 is...
Wait a minute. No. Pink 31. D, yes. Stop it. Redraw. Looks like we'll have to redraw.
Redraw.
Yep. You snooze, you lose.
Yellow B59.
Yellow
Redraw.
Yeah, and trivia, please. Someone got it. Did they? I don't know. Redraw in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Redraw. No, wait. Hang on. No. Too late. Redraw. Too late. Too late.
Yellow ticket B70.
Where's he pulling these tickets from?
Yellow ticket B09.
9. Congratulations for Ivan. What? Hey, that was B09. You said it.
This is the last one.
Final prize, pink D26.
Give it to me. Yeah, okay, alright.
One of the redraws. Showing up, guys.
That's the third prize gone. Thank you. Sorry.
Alright, so to wrap up the night, I truly hope you've had an enjoyable night. It's gone by a lot quicker than planned, but next year we'll be learning and definitely trying to make it a bigger event as each season passes by. Let me first thank the Alder Park Sports Club for allowing us to host this in their venue tonight. It's only fitting we're right here next to a ground where we've seen some magical nights this year. The FA Cup was brilliant, and there's no better thing in my opinion than a classic cup tie. Actually the Jets are playing, so I wonder how that's going tonight in the FA Cup. A big thank you to Max from Cooksville United at Viatech for helping provide our wonderful not match programs, just programs in general, the award night programs. highly appreciated, and the Cooks Hill programs, as I said earlier, have been some of the best this season, so good work from Vitek. Our wonderful medals and trophies were made by Purnell Trophies at Islington, and that's what tonight's about. Not just naming names, but handing out the actual prizes. I hope tonight is just the first of many Newysports Awards nights as we look to continue doing what we do and doing what we love. I'd like to thank our crew for tonight, Peter and Sue once again for their good work, and all the family and friends who have helped me creating this event and staging it tonight. This all started as an idea around 7 or 8 weeks ago, the awards night, and to see it become a formality tonight is just brilliant. I'd like to thank the clubs in the New FM Northern League 1 for allowing us to have such a wide reach across the league and such a good support. To be greeted by so many happy faces each and every weekend just makes this role much more enjoyable. As I say, we aren't just a broadcast or a media group, we want to be part of this community, the football community, and we want to help support the clubs and build the clubs up. The 600 or so players in this competition, what a memorable season it has been. The ups and downs for everybody, and it'll be quite fun to sit down in the off season and watch back some of the highlights and indeed the lowlights that shaped season 2017. Whether you're in your mid-teens sitting in class missing schoolwork because you're on Newysports, or whether you're the 30-something-year-old bragging to your mates about that one goal you scored on the weekend that turned the clock back 20 years or so, thank you all. It's been highly appreciated. You wouldn't believe it, but I'm not really a sociable person. I don't enjoy speaking with people I don't know, but this competition's like a second home, and the support of the football community has helped make me into a more confident person and confident to stage nights like this. Newysports has been my proudest creation. It gives me a calling after a couple of really low points in life, so tonight I stand here a humble man. Lastly, not least, I'd like to wish good luck to all 20 teams playing in the New FM semi-final series. It's going to be a mammoth effort trying to cover all these games. Grand final day, I think, starts at 8:30 in the morning, finishes at about 7 o'clock at night, so that's going to be a big day for us over there at Magic Park. May all the luck in the world be with your teams over the next 3 weeks. The off-season is fast approaching and indeed a chance to put my feet up, but trust me, I'll be itching at the bit to get back here in pre-season and looking ahead to season 2018 and meeting some new people that will be joining the competition, no doubt, next season. The ride hasn't always been easy. It's been a hard-working one, thousands of hours, hundreds of games. It's been a long process, but damn it, it has been worth it, in my opinion. The night has capped off all that hard work, and for that I am ever grateful. Thank you and good night.